Alright guys, we got a video here, and this one is called One Major Reason Many Men Are Staying Single. Let's check it out.
What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's a little bit later than usual. I had a lot going on this evening, but nonetheless, I wanted to turn the camera on to shoot the shit with you guys for a little while. And the title of this video is One Simple Reason Why So Many Men Are Leaving the Dating Game. And let me preface this by saying this isn't going to be a doomer video. None of my videos are doomer videos. Now, most people don't know that because they only watch the first half of the video. The second half is always advice. It's a proposed solution. So we're going to try to keep this positive, but we do have to talk about the facts nonetheless. All right, so let's get straight into it. Let's get to the cold hard truth, the bitter pill to swallow. Men have seen behind the curtain. The jig is up. The facade that once was is no more. Now, what facade am I talking about? Let me start out by saying you're either a beggar or a chooser. You're one or the other. Okay, that's your place in the dating market. A beggar or a chooser. You're either a backup plan or a plan A.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's keeping it gangster. I mean, as far as his philosophy, and one could actually argue that. I mean, if you go all the way back to high school, and remember, you know, if you dated in high school a lot or not, some people don't plateau until college or after that if you didn't attend, but some people had a nice had fun, younger and on into adulthood. I was fortunate enough to be one of those kids, but a lot of people are not, and for whatever reason, especially now today's day and age where everything is social media. So I think that has a lot to do with a lot of this stuff too, and how a lot of these women out here now are ranking themselves too high, okay, giving themselves too much, putting themselves too high up on that pedestal. And a lot of this social media has a lot of these women out here snowed, thinking that they are actually more than what they are. But let's see what this guy's got to say. I'm interested to see what else he has to say.
Number one option. And when you look at the opposite sex, and really whether you're a man or a woman, when you look at the opposite sex, you'll know collectively how they view you. Are you a primary number one option, or are you a backup plan? Do you get rejected? Do you get left on red? Do you have people canceling plans on you, not wanting to be with you? Do you find yourself chasing and begging?
Look, I hate to keep interrupting this guy, but yo, these are telltale signs. And the messed up thing about it, about a lot of men in today's dating scene, is they probably know, but they probably refuse to believe it. Anytime you're dating somebody, or you have to overextend yourself for a woman's attention or affection, guys, that is a telltale sign right there. You're wasting your time. Stop wasting your time right then and there. You need to go on and just move on. This woman is not for you. She does not want you. And a lot of people, tend to look at that as, oh, she's just playing hard to get. She's this and this and that. Nah. In today's market, there's no time for all that. Okay. You're either going to show me or not, guys. And they're going to show you. They're going to tell you, who you are in their eyes. And if they put you on that pedestal, if they answer your text every time you send it out, if they do certain things, guys, these are easy signs. If you're dating a woman or if you like a woman, you're interested in a woman, and if you ask her to go on a coffee date or a walk in the park, All right. If she turns you down because she's offended by those places because it's quote unquote cheap, then that's a problem. That's a problem. That's somebody you should stay far, far away from. These are things that a lot of men don't understand, don't get, or take the wrong way, and perceive it as something else. And that's how they end up, with a lot of money missing out of their bank account because they overspent and nothing to show for it.
A backup plan. Okay, do people never say no to you? Do women always drop what they're doing to come see you? Do they hit you up asking you if they can come over to your place? Do they always respond back to your text messages? Well, you're a primary option. Okay, now why am I telling you guys this? There's a point to it. Okay, up until, and we don't have to go too far back, up until around 20 years ago, nobody understood that. So here's what happened. When people were young, you had your number one option people, both men and women. For men, these were the jocks, the bad boys, the academic scholars, the guys that had things going on in their lives, the frat boys. And for women, these are the women with the nice bodies and the cute faces. And women that have a certain social intelligence to them. They're very good at flirting, right? So when you take these people, these men and these women, they're choosers. They're not beggars. That's their position. And typically what happens is, before it's all said and done, the choosers end up with each other. They get married, children, they go off and they live their life. And what happens with the beggars is, well, the beggars, the guys, they want to hook up with the hot chicks, but they can't quite ever pull it off. A lot of you guys say cringe when I say chicks, but I think it fits. I think it lands very smooth right in that sentence. So I'm going to keep saying it. And there's a female version of that too. There's a lot of women out there that, they want to lock down the bad boy. They want to lock down the jock, the academic scholar. Every woman wants to know that she can get a man obsessed with him, right? She can get a man, whatever man she wants, she can get him to fall in love, be attached, committed, long term. But most women can't get those guys to do it. So what happens is you have all these people that sort of get left behind. These are the Plan B people. And up until around 20 years ago, 2005, 2006, Plan B people would typically go through the cycle a few times. The dudes would get ghosted by enough hot women, rejected and heartbroken by enough hot women. And the Plan B women, they would, maybe try to hook up with the jocks and the bad boys and the high status men, but they'd end up getting manipulated, used and dumped. And so what happens, like I said, they go through this cycle a few times, and the backup plan people just end up getting with each other, right? They end up settling for each other. And this is why TV shows like Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, that was a movie actually, they were so popular in the 90s. TV shows like Married with Children, even like The Simpsons or Family Guy or whatever, the premise of these shows was you had a family that started by a man and a woman that settled for each other. They didn't really want each other. They weren't really attracted to each other. They just got with each other. Well, that's the facade. Okay, and it didn't help that they threw us movies like American Pie and stuff. So you had all these guys that were like nerds thinking they're going to hook up with all these hot and horny girls, right? Wasn't going to happen. So anyways, that's the facade, that people were sold. And And obviously, it's not rocket science here. Social media came around and showed us what's really going on. You know, it wasn't in your face before. You didn't see it. You know, those women, those Plan B women, didn't have to go on Facebook or Instagram and see the jock that's 6'4" that used to give her piggyback rides at the park, you know, before he would knock her socks off, only to have Plan B worship her feet later on. You know, but now she has to roll on Facebook when she's with the guy she's with and see this guy. And he's even taller. He's even more jacked. He's even richer. He's even more handsome. So now she sees what could have been. Right? And men, same thing, right? You know, they all want to hook up with the hot women. They've had their mind set on the hot women. They watch porn and see hot women. The Instagram thirst traps and see hot women. It's all over the place. You know, the facade of people settling for each other they don't actually want to be with is over with. And the average guy realizes that. And the average guy understands, and this is the bitter pill to swallow, that he is viewed as a Plan B. You know, guys are so obsessed with learning about hypergamy and alpha male shit and all these topics, right? They understand that there's something to all of that, right? It's not quite as hardcore as they may believe that it is, but it does exist. Now, the main thing here is understanding that being Plan A, being the first choice, is not, I mean, it's easier said than done, I'll put it that way. You can't just snap your fingers and be numero uno. But you can refuse to be a backup plan. Okay, and that's a start. Now, keep in mind, Plan A is the guy that was partying with, okay, when everyone's single, Plan A is the guy that parties with her on Saturday night, gets wild with her. Plan B is the guy that takes her out for lunch on Sunday morning.
He's basically saying, you know, what most people know now with social media and everything. I mean, and a lot of these guys, these simps, they know it. I believe that they know it. I believe that they just don't have any other option, and they are wishing upon a star, so to speak. They'll take a woman out, but a woman will only go with them in under certain stipulations. You're not getting any butt. You're not getting any sex. You're not getting any real affection. Okay, the only thing you get to do is take her somewhere and spend money on her, right? And we're not talking pennies here either, or go buy her clothes or pay some sort of bill or rent for her, right? When the top 15, 20% of guys can just make a phone call to that same woman and they're gonna Netflix and chill that night. Okay, he's not gonna spend a dime on her. Okay, and so women, a lot of these women compartmentalize men in their lives. They have a man for certain things, right? They have a man to, you know, blow their back out. They have a man that they call to take them out and spend money on them. They even have a man sometimes to pay certain bills. Okay, and they treat each of those men differently to get what she needs from them. All right, a lot of women do this. All right, and that's what he's basically referring to. All right, and guys are tired of being these guys. Okay, especially the other two, the ones that aren't getting anything, that aren't winning. Because most men, let's keep it real, our mission in life is women. Like, we're hunters, right? And women, for the most part, they want material things. They're into that sort of thing, so to speak. And if you're not in that top 15, 20% of men as far as the looks department, maybe money, then you're on a losing end. But now men are starting to get fed up. The men who are average or below average men who are just being used by these women, they're tired of it.
You know, when she's ashamed of her actions from Saturday night. And he has no clue what was going on. Now he knows what was going on. That's why they're walking away. But anyways, you can choose to never be a plan B. And you want to know how you do it? This is the most important part. You know, you have to be direct about your intentions. And, you know, I'm sure you've heard me say that. You've heard other people say that a million times before. But it's a point that needs to be understood. If you don't want to be a plan B, you have to be very direct about your intentions. You know, so let's say you meet a woman and whatever it is you're looking for, let's say you're only looking for a friend with benefits, and you tell her, hey, I'm just looking for a friend with benefits, that's all. And she says, sorry, I'm not interested. You say, okay. And then she runs and tells all of her friends, I thought he was an all right guy, but turns out he's just looking for one thing. Well, I mean, I don't know how else to break it to you, but some of her friends might be looking for that one thing as well. So now they see you as an option. So now you're heading towards option number one, you know, top priority territory. Right? She views you as, you know, the D appointment. Or it could be the other way around. Maybe you're looking for marriage. And you tell a woman you're looking for something serious. You don't want to pursue something serious with her, but you can tell her, yeah, this is what my plan is in the future. And she may say, sorry, I'm just looking for something short term. But then she runs and tells all of her friends, yeah, you know, he's a good guy. He's looking for a wife. Now, maybe one of her friends is looking for a wife or a husband. You know, that's how you become a primary option. But like I said, it's easier said than done. You can't just snap your fingers and be a primary option. But what you can do is eliminate being a backup plan. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Well, isn't being direct about your intentions kind of like, isn't that not so conducive to seducing a woman? Like, isn't it counterintuitive? And here's what you need to understand.
That depends. I mean, I'm keeping it real. That depends, guys. A lot of stuff he's saying is true, but there's some things that I'm having a hard time believing a little bit, about the part where you tell a woman what you want and then she goes back and tells her friends. But the likelihood of her friends, even if she does go and tell them, the likelihood of them carrying it on or continuing something with you is very unlikely. It's just not going to happen. Especially if you are an average guy. If you're an average guy and you tell a woman up front, hey, this is what I want, especially if it's on the terms of, I just want something to play with, short term, friends with benefits. If you tell a woman that and you're an average guy, you're not going to get very far. Let's just keep it real. You're not. Okay. Now, if you're, you know, a good looking guy, whatever, even this guy here, you know, he strikes me as somebody who, you know, doesn't really have to beg a chick, you know, for a date. He's not out here hard up, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, for fun time, if that's how you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? So he can probably say something like that to some of these women out here, and they're either down with it or not. Right. And what a lot of women tend to do, if you are in that upper echelon of a man, of a guy, is they will agree with you and say, okay, that's fine with me too. But that's not their true intentions. They're going to try to change you. They're going to try to steer you. A lot of women like to try to challenge themselves and I think I can change him and mold him. I can, you know, change him up. And then when it doesn't happen, they catch feelings and then it ends bad. You know, I've had women tell me that, you know, I have told them, look, I'm not looking for anything serious. And this is when I was young. I've been married for years now, but And they would say, cool. And a few months would go by, and then they catch feelings, and then it's a whole nother ball game. They told me it was fine. They wouldn't get mad. Their feelings would not get involved, and it did just that. So you can't really go that way, but it is what it is.
The number one way a man ends up being a backup plan, or in the friend zone, or being led on, used, is by trying to seduce a woman. Okay, because you try to seduce a woman, and the same thing if a woman's trying to seduce a man and he's a player that's savvy to this shit. So let's say you're trying to seduce a woman and she catches on. She's okay, I see what he's doing. He's trying to seduce me. So she plays the game with you. And you think, oh yeah, I've got her right where I want her. Well, that is how you get trapped in the friend zone. She walked you into the trap, right? And that's how bad boy, high value alpha jocks walk the backup plan women into the trap. You know, they see the woman's trying to make a move, and they pretend like they like her. They play her game a little bit, let her think she has the upper hand. They get what they want and they dump her. Right? That's how the game works. When the chooser is, exercising their skill set, you could say. Might be immoral, might be degenerate, but it's the way the game works, right?
It's a dirty game out here, especially if you're young and you're out here trying to win. That's how it is played, unfortunately. And I'm so glad I'm out of the game. Been out of the game for a while. It's a cesspool out here now, guys. It's a cesspool, and it's just not a good look. I'm going to end this video with this, though. I'm going to say that it's really quite simple. If you break it down, it's really quite simple, and it's just a cold world. It really is. If you're not, or if you don't meet the criteria of what the average woman is looking for, you're gonna take L's. I can only advise you to keep trucking, keep pushing, keep moving. Don't let that one, don't let that second, don't even let that third one deter you for finding that someone for you, because that, for a lot of cases, is all that you will have. Right? If you're a man who is average or below, if you're a short man, if you're, your money's not that long, things like that, and you're looking to get with somebody long term, or you're looking for a woman, it's gonna be a fight, especially in today's day, especially in today's age. It's crazy, because now all the average women think that they're above average, and they have above average aspirations, right? Because they have all these people telling them that they're the queen and they deserve this and deserve that, and so on and so forth. Don't settle for a guy who is 5'7", right? Don't settle for a guy who's balding. Don't settle for a guy who doesn't make this amount of money, right? And they believe that shit. It's a facade. It's a fairy tale. It's a fable. And a lot of women don't realize that until it's too late. Until it's too late. Some go to the grave with the same mentality. They never change it. They never change it. So if you're a man out here and you're looking to find somebody, I would strongly suggest that you work on yourself best you can. There are certain things that you cannot change. No matter what you do, you cannot extend your height. Although I have heard stories of people having surgery to do that shit, but that is an extreme case or extreme cases. I'm talking about, generally speaking, guys, if you're a short guy, you're not going to be tall. Okay? If you're not a handsome, what people would call handsome, that's probably not going to happen for you. All right? But do the things that you can do, or the things you can't control. Right? If you're not considered handsome, go to the barbershop. Make sure you're doing everything else to groom yourself properly, things of that nature. Make sure you're hitting that gym, or you're working out at least a few times a week to get yourself in a decent shape. Right? These are things that you have control over, and you can change. Your money situation. If your money is a little funny, get some more jobs, get your hustle on, whatever you need to do to get you some to get you some ducats. And I'm not saying to get these ducats to splurge on women. Please don't get it twisted. I do not want any of my listeners or watchers to become simps. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, just have you some money to do certain things, because yes, you do still have to go on dates. I'm not saying it has to be an expensive date, but you still have to take that person out that you want to be with eventually, or go do something with that person. So that's what I mean by that. But do all these things you can do and that you have control over, because that's all you can do. Do everything you can control. And then sooner or later, with enough persistence, things will fall, I think, into place for you. You will find that person, right? Eventually. If you keep trying, just never give up. That's basically all I can say, guys, because I can't sit here and promise anyone you're guaranteed to, get a wife, get a woman. You know what I mean? But women have the advantage in this dirty game, because now average women, period, most women don't have a problem getting dick. They can get sex if they really wanted it. Most women have who are dating out here have a Rolodex and have a number of guys, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that they could call for that if they wanted it. The problem is a lot of these guys, they're not attracted to, they're not interested in. They're just there to play with whenever they feel like doing it. If that makes sense to you. They just have more. So you take an average woman and an average guy and line them up. Average girl walking down the street, walk a mile down the street, wearing something a little tight. She's going to get some lookers. She's going to get some suitors, right? A guy, same thing, mediocre, medium, average guy. He's doing that same thing. No love in the building. Okay. So women are always on an advantage when it comes to that. That's all I'm saying. So men, take heed. And really, if I have to say one thing to all men out here who are trying to find someone, all I would say is this: fuck with the ones who fuck with you. Okay? And you'll know, mess with the ones who mess with you. If that woman is not willing to go to a coffee date or a walk in the park where you guys can talk and get to know each other, you don't need to mess with her. You don't need to deal with her. That means she's not in it for you. These are some simple things you can do right off bat to realize if this person is wasting your time or not. Because there's women out there who will indulge you in certain things, everything but sex usually, as long as you are paying and paying big. Right? Take you to a concert or something that they want to go see, an expensive restaurant, offering to pay certain things just to be in their presence, that type of stuff. And most of these men who are doing these things, they know that, they understand that, but they don't want to believe it. They choose to kind of turn the other cheek. And that's not what you should do. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you enjoy the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. And also, if you have anything you want me to react to, please send it to me and I will gladly take you up on that offer, okay, for the channel. So yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next video.